Do you really believe that Teofimo Lopez is trash?
No, not at all. Not at all. Teofimo is a good fighter. You know, he's very talented. He's very athletic. You know, he's always rose to the occasion in these big moments like this. But Shakur is just on a whole nother level. And this Saturday, he's going to prove it.
I think this could be the first time that Shakur Stevenson has somebody who can match him with athletic ability. Pure ability, pure speed, quickness, quick twitch, athletic ability that can match him. That I think Teofimo has the speed, the legs, the quickness, and he's got pop too with it, where he could possibly, I know this sounds ridiculous, but he could possibly match, and maybe even he would have to outmatch him to win. He'd have to be that good, but maybe match Shakur boxing and pull off what would be an upset.
2 days ago, the fight between Stevenson and Lopez.
Great fight.
What fight? Who wins that? Lopez.
It's not nice, Stevenson.
You know, Stevenson, because a lot of people are going to say that, but people are going to say
it's not the fight.
Lopez is a very good fighter, bro. I've trained with him, I've heard him at a party, he bangs hard, he's a good all-round boxer, slick. A lot of people don't give him the credit for how...
The boxing world is about to explode. Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez is happening, and the predictions are flying from every corner of the sport. But here's what's wild about this fight. Nobody can agree on who's actually going to win. We're talking about former world champions, legendary trainers, and active fighters all picking different sides. And the reasons they're giving. They're revealing something massive about both these fighters that most people are completely missing.
I think it's going to be a very, very, very interesting fight with a lot of X factors, a lot of intangibles, a lot of stuff floating around mentally, everything. I think it could be an intriguing fight. I don't know if it'll be a good fight. I don't know if it'll be a scintillating fight. I don't know about that. But I do think it could be.
Boxing pros are calling this the most competitive matchup we've seen in years, and they're not wrong. Experts are breaking down how Shakur's razor-sharp defense and lightning speed are going to test every ounce of Teofimo's explosive power and relentless aggression. But here's where it gets interesting. The same qualities that make each fighter dangerous are exactly what could destroy them. Shakur's defensive mastery has critics saying he's boring, while Teo's aggressive style has cost him fights when his mindset isn't right. So which version of these fighters shows up could determine everything.
Fighter, people, because you got two different styles. You got an offensive, defensive.
Yeah.
In Lopez, and you got a defensive.
Yeah.
In Shakur.
Yeah.
So it's gonna see who's gonna win. Is there any way of beating? Because at the moment Shakur's not beatable. No one really giving him that hard day. We've not really seen him in the deep end. But it's gonna be a good fight to see that can Lopez put him in the deep end. And I think he can, and I think he has a.
Former world champion Amir Khan just dropped his prediction, and it's stirring up controversy. Khan's backing Teofimo Lopez to win, saying Teo has the perfect combination of skills and confidence to completely outbox Shakur Stevenson. According to Khan, Lopez's speed, those sharp combinations we've seen him throw, and his ring IQ are going to cause serious problems for Shakur. But here's what's crazy. Khan is betting on Lopez's mental state being locked in, which has been his biggest weakness in recent fights. Khan believes that when Teo is focused and confident, he's operating on a different level than most of the competition Shakur has faced.
It's not nice, Stevenson.
You know, Stevenson, because a lot of people are going to say that, but people are going to say
it's not the fight.
Lopez is a very good fighter, bro. I've trained with him, I've heard him at a party, he bangs hard, he's a good all-round boxer, slick. A lot of people don't give him the credit for how good of a boxer he is. Look, he's the type of guy I know about Lopez is that when he has to turn it up, he turns it up. And I think with someone like Shakur, he will have to turn it up big time. And obviously Shakur, we've not really seen him in the deep end. Well,
That's what I'm saying. I think that toughness is there with Shakur, and if it is there, which I believe it is, because I think it's a fantastic fight. It's one of them that we're all going to have an opinion on who's going to win, but none of us really know, because it's one of the best fights in boxing.
The best, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah.
You think about it, look at Lopez. He's fought like some Lomachenko. He beat some great names on the way, man. Yeah. And I look good against them as well. Maybe his last fight wasn't the best. He made it a little bit tough, harder than it looked, but he's always
But hold up, because pound for pound legend Terence Crawford just came out with the complete opposite take. Crawford's picking Shakur Stevenson to win, and his reasoning is brutal for the Lopez camp. Crawford says Shakur is on a whole other level compared to the fighters Lopez has been beating lately, and he expects Shakur to completely outclass Teofimo on fight night. This isn't just some casual prediction either. Crawford knows exactly what elite boxing looks like, and he's saying the skill gap is bigger than people realize.
So look aesthetically. Obviously, in the last fight, Shakur stood his ground a little bit more against William Cepeda. You don't expect him to do that against Teo, do you?
To be honest, I think you're going to do a little bit of everything. I think we're going to see the best Shakur Stevenson come Saturday, and I just feel like, it's going to be too much.
But Teofimo's done well against southpaws. Josh Saylor, Lomachenko, we got these southpaw here. You're a southpaw as well. Do you think Teofimo just has something that other fighters don't have against left-handers, or just think that Shakur's different level of a sniper of a southpaw?
Well, it's a little bit of both. Teofimo has done real well against southpaws, but Shakur have done real well against orthodox fighters. Shakur is not the average southpaw that Teofimo has been fighting, so that's why I say Shakur is levels above those fighters that he's been fighting lately.
Crawford didn't stop there, though. He gave Shakur some advice that reveals everything about how confident he is in this pick. Crawford told Shakur to just be himself and treat this fight like another day at the office. Think about that for a second. Crawford is telling one of the most technically gifted fighters in the sport not to overthink against a former unified champion. He's basically saying Shakur's natural abilities are so superior that he doesn't need to change anything. Crawford reminded Shakur that he already knows what he's capable of, and that confidence from a legend like Crawford speaks volumes.
At the highest level of the sport, right? You just defeated Canelo Alvarez in front of 70,000 plus, and you've been a big mentor to Shakur Stevenson. I give you a lot of credit for that. What advice have you given him as he goes into the biggest fight of his career?
Oh man, just be yourself. Hey, this is another day in the office, another walk in the park. There's no reason to put a lot of pressure on yourself, because you know what you're capable of. With the self-belief in yourself, you can do.
Now here's where things get really interesting. Even though Shakur is the betting favorite, legendary trainer Teddy Atlas believes Teofimo Lopez can absolutely beat him. But Atlas added a massive caveat that exposes Lopez's biggest problem. Atlas says Teo can only win if he's mentally locked in and ready for war. Here's the kicker. Atlas pointed out that Lopez's mindset has been all over the place in his recent fights. Sometimes he looks like a world beater, other times he looks distracted and unfocused. Atlas believes that if Lopez brings full focus and confidence, he has all the physical tools to challenge Shakur and potentially pull off a major upset.
It starts for me with Teofimo, where it starts is, where is he mentally? He's up and down. His father, the whole thing, his father's been with him the whole career. Listen, love him, hate him, his father has been part of getting him to these world titles. He's been part of it. Whatever. He has been up and down mentally. Where's he gonna be? If he's right, if he's stable, if he's in a good place, he seemed to be in a very good place when he fought Lomachenko. If he's in a good place, I think this could be the first time that Shakur Stevenson has somebody.
Atlas made another claim that's got people talking. He says Teofimo is the only fighter who can force Stevenson out of his comfort zone. Think about what that means. Shakur has built his entire style around controlling range and dictating the pace of fights. But Atlas believes Lopez's athleticism and relentless pressure might be the perfect combination to disrupt Shakur's usual game plan. If Atlas is right, we could see Shakur in unfamiliar territory, having to adapt on the fly against a fighter who thrives in chaos.
Pure ability, pure speed, quickness, quick twitch, athletic ability that can match him and could actually turn the tables in a way where he could force Shakur out of his comfort zone to maybe do some things, say he doesn't want to.
Legendary former heavyweight champion Shannon Briggs just gave a prediction that nobody saw coming. Briggs thinks this fight could end in a draw, with each fighter winning about 6 rounds. His reasoning reveals something most people aren't talking about. Briggs sees this as a tight technical battle where both fighters have elite skills but lack the kind of knockout power that ends fights decisively. He's basically saying we're looking at a chess match that could go either way, and the judges might not be able to separate them. A draw would be chaos for both fighters' careers and the division as a whole.
And what does Shakur have to do to win? What does Teo have to do to win?
It's going to be a real technical fight. I think both of them, not tremendous punches. So I'm looking at a 6-6, 6 rounds each, you know what I'm saying, or a close decision. It's a pick 'em. They both got skills.
What are the rounds that Teofimo wins? What do those rounds look like? Like with his style against Shakur, how does he win the rounds against Shakur?
Staying busy and Shakur, keeping Shakur defensive. If Shakur shows up and he don't let his hands go, then Teo get an advantage. But if Shakur start fast and they both go round for round, that's why I'm saying it's a 6-6, because I think they're going to go round for round.
And you think,
a great fight.
So for Shakur, he needs to kind of pick his spots, box. Is that kind of how you see Shakur winning rounds?
I think Shakur got to be busy, and the busiest man gonna win. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna be like a back and forth. Counter man, he gonna counter. So who could keep countering and who gonna get tired first?
This is a big one. I mean, this is like one of those where you don't know, right? Like the styles are gonna play out how they do.
It's a pick 'em. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna go back and forth until one of them say.
British welterweight Conor Ben just revealed who he's rooting for, and his reasoning shows what fighters really think about this matchup. Ben wants Teofimo to beat Shakur because he believes Teo's skill set, versatility, and proven track record make him the more dangerous and exciting fighter. Coming from someone known for his aggressive style and big ambitions, Ben's endorsement of Lopez tells you everything about how fighters view Teo's ability to bring the fight to his opponents. Ben sees Lopez as the kind of fighter who can create the explosive moments that change fights instantly.
I hope Teo does it, but I think Shakur will win. But I hope Teo does it, and I think Teo can. If anyone can do it, it'd be Teo.
Why would it be Teo?
Because he's explosive, he's unorthodox, he's tricky, and he's a savage.
What do you think about Shakur talking about Teofimo?
Veteran boxer and analyst Gabriel Rosado broke down this fight in detail, and his analysis reveals the key factor everyone should be watching. Rosado is backing Shakur Ben, but his explanation shows just how close this fight really is. According to Rosado, while both fighters are incredibly skilled and capable of winning, Shakur's technical edge and superior ring IQ give him the advantage. But here's the crucial part. Rosado says Shakur needs to shake Lopez's confidence early and dictate the pace from the opening bell. If he can't do that, everything changes.
A good time. Let the man live.
Rosado made it clear that Teofimo is dangerous and unpredictable throughout the entire fight. If Lopez gets comfortable and finds his confidence, Rosado thinks the fight becomes very close or could even end in a draw. But Rosado's leaning toward Stevenson winning on points through smart boxing and precision. The key phrase there is smart boxing. Rosado believes Shakur needs to fight the perfect tactical fight to win. This isn't about overwhelming Lopez with power or speed. It's about executing a flawless game plan for 12 rounds.
Teo to me is more like he has those athletic skills that you don't cheat. You know what I'm saying? It's like it comes to him.
Yeah, I think Lopez goes well.
It comes to him naturally.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's going to nip him in the ass against Shakur.
Right.
Because Shakur is fundamentally sound.
Correct.
So when a guy that has this athletic ability and does things that are not fundamentally sound fights a guy that's seasoned like a Shakur, he's going to make you pay. And that's just how I see it. I think it's a great matchup. But I just favor.
Now, how Shakur is like Floyd in this way.
Yeah.
He's like Floyd in this way. Everyone's able to boxing IQ, the defense, whatever, and Shakur's a southpaw, but he makes fewer mistakes than the other guy.
Yes, he does.
Really, what Floyd did, he was like a football team that.
Former world champion Amir Khan recently defended Stevenson against all the criticism over his fighting style and public perception. Khan acknowledges that boxing fans and analysts have been questioning Stevenson's approach, especially the way he controls distance and prioritizes defense over offense. But Khan is telling critics to respect Shakur's skill set instead of dismissing it. Here's what Khan understands that casual fans don't. Stevenson's technical mastery and boxing IQ are legitimate championship-level strengths, even if they don't always create the kind of explosive highlights that go viral on social media.
With Shakur, he's going to have to perform. He knows that this is the mega fight that but I think Shakur seems a little bit more relaxed and calm. Like he's going to win this fight. It's going to be a walk in the park for him. But I know one thing about Lopez is that he always pulls off a...
You know what the great thing about this conversation is that we're just having now? One of us is going to be right, and there's like, you know...
Not going to put no bets on it. One of us is going to get...
What do you think about the criticism that Shakur gets? Like, people say that he's boring, he's not entertaining.
He's like an Andre Ward style. Andre Ward, class fighter, wasn't really that entertaining, but got the win. I mean, that's what boxing is all about. It's all about...
Mayweather had a slight, aura of that wrap around him as well. Like, not them for the boxing purists, like the purists are hardcore boxing, and we look at it and appreciate these little movements and the genius stuff that they do in the ring.
Checking it,
maybe the sort of like more casual fan would look at and not appreciate.
Yeah.
I'm saying you've got to be a boxing. Yeah, you've got to be a hardcore boxing fan.
I used to love watching Andre Ward fight because he was so punch perfect. I watched his footwork, how he moved to the right, to the left. And I trained with him as well, with Virgil. And I used to watch how he trained and how he fought. And I thought, how he puts his hands there and uses it as a defense, and then pulls your hands there and catches you over the top. And them little things.
Yeah.
I look boring, but to a boxing fan and a ex-boxer or a boxer.
Khan reminded everyone that elite boxing is as much about precision and ring craft as it is about throwing bombs. This defense of Shakur's style is significant because it's coming from someone who fought at the highest level and understands what it takes to be successful. Khan is basically saying that fans who criticize Shakur for being boring don't really understand what they're watching. The technical aspects of Shakur's game that some people find unexciting are exactly what make him so difficult to beat.
We're hearing Eddie's told us that it sounds like you're moving up to 140. Is that true? And is there anybody you want in that division?
I would like the winner of Teo and Shakur next week. I'd love the winner of that.
If Shakur is going to drop back down to 35, can you make that fight happen at 35? Or does it have to happen at 40?
We'll make that happen too. Whoever wins, whatever weight they want to fight at, I'm there.
Would you be willing to go to New York City to watch that fight and call out either one next week?
I'm calling them out now. I'm gonna go out there. I'm telling you right now.
What is that? Obviously you just got done winning this fight, but what do you think that fight would look like in the ring? You and Shakur, if he's the one who wins, and I guess Teofimo too, if he's the one that wins.
Yeah, I mean, both those fights are great fights. I think boxing would love that, and that's.
The lightweight division just got even more interesting. After Raymond, Muratalla retained his IBF lightweight title with a tough majority decision win over Cuban Olympic gold medalist Andy Cruz. He made his intentions crystal clear. Muratalla said he wants the winner of the Lopez versus Stevenson fight, signaling that he's ready to step up and challenge whoever emerges from this massive showdown. This adds another layer of pressure to both fighters because they know a dangerous, hungry champion is waiting for them. Muratalla's comments show his ambition to move beyond title defenses and go after the most meaningful, high-profile fights available.
Finally did what people wanted, this young, talented, brilliant talent, brilliant defensive fighter, brilliant guy at control and range, Olympic silver medalist, quick hands, technically solid. He finally satisfied the critics, and he mixed offense with the defense. He sat down, and instead of moving all the time and punching on the move or on the draw back or traps, you come in 5 inches, he goes back 7, and he counters the crap out of you. He stood his ground, and he punched, and he still got the better of it with the sweet science, being defensively responsible, but without having to be less entertaining. He was more entertaining. He satisfied people. He made people, they said, that's what we wanted in Shakur. And they got it. Now he's a big favorite, or a good favorite. You know the line's better.
Teddy Atlas recently praised Shakur Stevenson for finally answering his critics, and what he said reveals everything about how this fight came together. Atlas pointed out that before Stevenson's performance against William Zepeda, many fans and experts praised his technical ability, but criticized him for being too defensive and not engaging enough. In the Zepeda fight, Stevenson mixed offense with defense more effectively than ever before. He stepped in, threw meaningful punches, and stood his ground instead of constantly moving away. This satisfied many of the concerns people had about his entertainment value.
Important fight in the sport of boxing. And what I mean is the best versus the best in their prime, something that needs to be normalized throughout the sport. Now, the matchup itself is a bit tricky. You have two guys with great boxing IQ, one super defensively responsible in Shakur Stevenson. The other, Teofimo, is also super defensively responsible, but they fight in very different ways. Teo's more loose, relaxed, a bit unorthodox. Shakur uses his eyes and his defense to offense very well, and both guys are able to control a fight. But I think there's a key difference here between what can happen and what...
Atlas said this blend of skillful boxing and willingness to engage pleased critics who wanted more compelling performances from Shakur. It helped shift perceptions about his fighting style and proved he could be both technically excellent and exciting to watch. That stronger showing is part of why many experts now see Stevenson as a more complete and convincing performer heading into his fight with Lopez. The question is whether Shakur can maintain that balance between technical excellence and fan-friendly aggression against someone as dangerous as Teofimo.
Shakur, this is why it's so hard to pick against him. Fundamentally, he is almost flawless in terms of what he does with his eyes, how it relates to how he defends, how he controls you with the jab, and then how he does counter you, even if it is mostly point countering. Like, his knockout power isn't the best. We know this. We know he's had trouble with his hands, but he's moving up to 140 pounds. Maybe that size and, him putting on a bit more muscle or a bit more strength could potentially have an effect here at 140. I don't know that it will. I'm just saying it may. It's so hard to break.
The stylistic contrast between these fighters is what makes this matchup so fascinating. Shakur Stevenson is known for elite technical brilliance, exceptional distance control, and defensive mastery that's almost impossible to break down. He uses footwork, movement, feints, and precise counters to avoid damage while scoring consistently. Shakur often dictates the pace without needing heavy power, and his approach is methodical and chess-like. He's basically a master at fighting from the outside, rather than engaging in wild exchanges that could hurt him.
Yeah. There might not be a more explosive fighter. I don't want to say explosive puncher, but explosive fighter, fast twitch fighter at 140 pounds right now than Teofimo Lopez. That guy, this dude he has such a quick twitch ability, and being able to pair that with cardiovascular endurance is something you don't see a lot, but he is very, very tricky, very sneaky. You even see it there, some of the stuff where he's just slick, hands are down, but he's moving his head, bang, into the uppercut. Move his head, bang, back into the left hook. Teo is make you miss, make you pay, where Shakur will make you miss and sometimes make you pay, but the power, the speed, the reactivity of it, none of it is the same level of...
Teofimo Lopez brings something completely different to the table. Lopez fights with explosive bursts, creativity, and athletic aggression that can change a fight in seconds. He relies on power punches, especially that devastating right hand, and sudden combination attacks to break his opponent's rhythm. Teo thrives when he can close the distance and force tighter exchanges, shifting between offensive pressure and sharp counters. His style is less consistent in volume than Stevenson's, but his moments of high-impact offense can be fight-ending. The question is whether Lopez can create enough of those explosive moments to overcome Shakur's technical advantages.
First thing in this fight is a 50-50 fight. This is the worst. But it's not a 40-60 fight. Man, what the hell are they talking about? Who has Shakur fought? Name me one guy. Come on.
Well, all you can really say, Oscar Valdez.
Oscar Valdez?
And obviously...
They didn't get knocked the fuck out by Shelton or something? Bad. Come on.
Teo's got a way better.
You don't have... Listen, let me tell you something about boxing. Once you get knocked out or get knocked down, like Devin Haney did, like Oscar Valdez did.
The trash talk has been heating up, and Teofimo Lopez's father, Teo Sr., has been making some bold claims about Shakur's resume. According to Teo Sr., Stevenson hasn't really fought any good fighters in his professional career. He's arguing that Shakur's resume lacks marquee names with true championship pedigree, and he's using that to dismiss talk of this being a 50-50 fight. Teo Sr. says calling it even is wrong because in his view, Shakur hasn't proven himself against top-tier competition like his son has.
One more day. Y'all got one more day. Oh, y'all people gotta kill my ass. Look like we got to you. Look like we got to you. Look like we got to you. It looked like we got to you. It looked like we got to you, nigga. Okay? You better give it to me. Miss weight. Ever. We have never ever missed weight.
You lost, though.
Yeah, I lost my ass. I lost my ass. Never lost. I wish all of y'all would have gone with my son when I was feeling that day.
Yo, you and your son is one of the guys.
So that means that when your son lost, when your son loses, he lost both.
Teo Sr. is pointing to his son's victories over respected opponents like Vasily Lomachenko and Josh Taylor as evidence that Teofimo is the more tested and legitimate contender. He's arguing that Stevenson's past opponents simply don't compare to the level of competition Lopez has faced. This has been part of the Lopez camp's strategy to frame the fight as a chance for Teofimo to prove he's the more battle-hardened and accomplished fighter. It's psychological warfare designed to plant doubt about whether Shakur is ready for this level of competition. At the official weigh-in, Shakur Stevenson fired back with some mind games of his own. Stevenson poked fun at Teo Sr.'s earlier comments and suggested the Lopez camp was rattled by all the attention this fight is getting. Shakur confidently said he will beat Teofimo Lopez on fight night, insisting he's the better boxer and prepared to prove it in front of the world. But here's what's interesting about Shakur's approach. He made it clear that he chose Lopez because he wants the challenge, not because he's trying to avoid risk. Stevenson stressed that beating a fighter like Teo will solidify his legacy at 140 pounds. This reveals something important about Shakur's mindset. He's not just looking to win this fight, he's looking to make a statement that establishes him as the undisputed best fighter in the division. The confidence he showed at the weigh-in suggests he believes his technical advantages are going to be too much for Lopez to overcome, regardless of Teo's power and aggression. So there you have it. The boxing world is split down the middle on one of the biggest fights of the year. You've got legends like Terence Crawford backing Shakur's technical superiority, while others like Amir Khan believe Teofimo's power and versatility will be the difference. Teddy Atlas thinks it comes down to Lopez's mental state, while Shannon Briggs sees a draw that satisfies nobody. This isn't just about two undefeated fighters anymore. This is about proving who represents the future of the division and who's been overhyped by their promotional machine. Will Stevenson's sharp technical boxing and range control be too much for Teofimo's power and aggression? Or will Lopez shock the world with the kind of explosive performance that made him a star? Drop your prediction in the comments below. If this breakdown helped you understand what's really at stake in this fight, smash that like button, subscribe for more boxing analysis, and hit the notification bell because this is just the beginning. I'll see you in the next one. But wait, there's something massive we haven't talked about yet that could completely change everything. The betting odds have been shifting dramatically in the weeks leading up to this fight, and what's happening behind the scenes is revealing insider information that most fans don't know about. Initially, Shakur opened as a moderate favorite, but the line has been moving back and forth as big money comes in on both sides. Professional bettors and sharp money are split, which almost never happens in boxing. This tells us that even the people who make a living analyzing fights can't find a clear edge. Here's what's really wild: the prop bets are telling a different story than the main betting line. While Shakur is favored to win the fight, the knockout props heavily favor Teofimo Lopez. Bettors are essentially saying they think Shakur will probably win on points, but if anyone scores a knockout, it's going to be Teo. This creates a fascinating dynamic where Lopez might actually be getting better value despite being the underdog. Smart money knows that one perfectly timed power shot from Lopez could end everything, regardless of how much technical skill Shakur brings to the table. The sparring reports coming out of both camps are painting completely different pictures of how this fight might unfold. Sources close to the Stevenson camp say Shakur has been looking absolutely untouchable in training, moving like a ghost and landing clean shots at will against quality sparring partners. They're describing sessions where experienced fighters simply cannot figure out how to get inside Shakur's defensive shell. His timing on counters has been described as scary accurate, and his footwork as poetry in motion. If these reports are accurate, Lopez might be walking into a nightmare scenario where nothing he throws finds its target. But the Lopez camp is telling a completely different story that should terrify Team Stevenson. Word is that Teofimo has been dropping sparring partners with body shots and looking more explosive than he has in years. Training footage that's leaked shows Lopez throwing combinations with bad intentions, and his hand speed looks significantly improved from his last few fights. Most importantly, sources say his mental state is completely different, focused, hungry, and carrying himself with the confidence of a fighter who knows he's about to shock the world. If Teo brings this version of himself to fight night, all of Shakur's technical advantages might not matter. The international boxing scene is also weighing in, and their perspectives are adding layers to this fight that American fans might be missing. British boxing analysts are heavily favoring Stevenson, viewing this as a classic case of superior technique overcoming raw aggression. They're comparing it to historical matchups where the more refined boxer systematically broke down the power puncher through superior ring IQ and defensive responsibility. UK experts see this as Shakur's coming out party on the world stage, the fight that establishes him as a pound-for-pound elite fighter. Mexican boxing traditionalists are taking the opposite approach and backing Lopez hard. They see Teofimo as carrying the warrior spirit that Mexican fans respect, the willingness to walk through fire to land the fight-ending shot. Mexican analysts believe Stevenson's defensive style won't hold up under sustained pressure from a fighter with Lopez's combination of power and boxing IQ. They're viewing this as a test of whether modern technical boxing can withstand old-school Mexican-style aggression and determination. For them, this fight represents a clash of boxing philosophies. The undercard for this event is absolutely stacked, which tells you everything about how big this main event really is. When promoters load up the supporting fights with legitimate contenders and exciting prospects, they're betting that casual fans will tune in and become invested in the entire show. The co-main event features rising stars who could become main event fighters themselves within the next year. This kind of card construction only happens when everyone involved believes the main event has the potential to be a classic that gets talked about for years. What's fascinating is how this fight impacts the entire junior welterweight division moving forward. The winner doesn't just get bragging rights. They position themselves for massive unification fights and potential moves up to welterweight against established stars. The loser faces a much more difficult path back to elite status, potentially having to rebuild their reputation against dangerous contenders who smell blood in the water. Both fighters know this isn't just about winning one fight. It's about controlling their entire career trajectory for the next 3 to 5 years. The social media buildup has been unlike anything we've seen in recent boxing history. Both fighters have been going back and forth with subtle psychological warfare, posting training clips designed to intimidate their opponent while building confidence in their own fan base. Shakur's posts focus on technical perfection and highlight reel defensive moves, while Teo's content emphasizes power and aggression. The engagement numbers are through the roof, with millions of views on training footage and heated debates in the comment sections. This level of organic buzz is exactly what boxing needs to attract younger fans who might not follow the sport regularly. Behind the scenes, both camps have been studying film obsessively, looking for any small advantage they can exploit on fight night. Stevenson's team has been analyzing Lopez's tendency to drop his left hand after throwing his signature right cross, believing they can time a counter that could hurt or even drop Teofimo. Meanwhile, Lopez's corner has identified moments where Shakur gets caught flat-footed when moving backward along the ropes, creating opportunities for Teo to trap him and unleash combinations. These tiny technical details could be the difference between victory and defeat in a fight this close. The judges assigned to this fight are going to play a huge role in determining the outcome, especially if this goes the distance like many experts predict. All three officials have track records that favor different styles of boxing, which adds another layer of strategy for both corners. One judge historically rewards aggressive pressure fighting, another tends to score technical boxing and clean punching higher, and the third has been inconsistent in high-profile fights. Both teams have spent time studying these tendencies and adjusting their game plans accordingly, knowing that winning rounds on the scorecards might come down to understanding what each judge values most.